if you're a VectorVest subscriber, we did get a flash of a confirmed up call today, as you can see right here. Look at that. We got a flash. We're going to see if it stays that way. But that's the first time in a few months that the slowest, most conservative market timing call is flashing a confirmed up. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the chat letting me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Make sure, let me know. Hello, VV Nation. What are you trading today? Hi, Jay. Welcome back. Looks like you were away for a long time. What am I trading today? I got some stocks. That I've been telling you about. I got some new stocks to tell you about. There's some stuff going on. Ain't nothing going on but the rain. Good morning, Paul. Mark, I got your email. Did you get my response back, Mark? I did get your email. Did you get my response back to you? Robin says I'm loud and clear. Brenda says I'm loud and clear. Drew says, hey, Jay Berg. I know. Charles is yo-yo. What's up, Charles? What's up? You remember the old commercials, the Bud Light commercials? What's up? All right, so you did, Mark. Good. All right. And you're welcome. I try to answer as many people as I possibly can. Not always easy. With everything that I have going on a daily basis. Skyliners, good afternoon. Charles is again. What's up? Boston is here in the background. Always glad to see you when you're here, Boston. Joey, of course, is in the background. All right. The doors must have opened. We got 146 people in the room. You know me. Come on, let's try to double that. Let's try to get 300 people in the room. Again, big move today in that the VectorVest composite is flashing a confirmed up. That's huge for a lot of people that are out there. You know, why is it huge? Let's talk about that in a minute. But let's try to get as many people into the room as we possibly can. Please, please, please. Let's do that. John is here as well. Good afternoon, John. Glad to have you here. All right, Mark. You know, Mark, just because Jay is here, I think I'm going to put you in timeout already. And Cigar, if you're here, you can go with Mark. Just before we even get started, I think I'm going to put Mark and Cigar right in timeout right away, just because. And that's because I'm glad to see that Jay is back. So just for that, I'm gonna put you right in the timeout. All right. So Mark and Cigar, please find your way to timeout. Jay, you have to. So Jay says, "Hey Glenn, lighten up." Listen, it is what I do. It's what I do. Real estate. You know, Dan G. I think I'm putting out a video probably next week on REITs. That's probably next on my list. Gold, I'm not feeling gold yet. Stocks to real estate ratio, which one is expensive and which one is cheap compared to history? Something I can look at. What are we buying, says Marcus. We got some of this. Jay says, we'll be waiting for you in the parking lot. I ain't scared of you. But you see that? I ain't scared of you. Not even a little bit. All right. Let's talk about what's going on. A lot of green, but still, I want you guys to pay attention. A lot of yellow in the color guard. Still not a time for you to back up the truck. I do see that we are flashing a confirmed up call. That's huge. That's huge for a lot of people out there who are looking at the slowest, most conservative timing call. Will it have legs? And can the Fed truncate the longevity of the confirmed call? And the answer to that is yes. The Fed can truncate the longevity of that call. But we've got to see if it feels that way going into the end of the day, into the end of the trading session. Let's get into the software. All right, let's get into the software. I want to show you something. Here's the VectorVest market timing graph. This is what's catching my attention. Yes, so far we're flashing the confirmed up call today. But look at today's activity. All right, let me move this over a little bit. Look at today's activity. Let's go put this on a 1 month graph. This concerns me. Are we above this level of resistance, 57.41? Yes, we closed above it yesterday. We did give some back, but we still closed above it yesterday. We closing right now above it now. But look at this, a little bit of indecision in the day, and it's a closed candle. All right, and it's a closed candle. Someone says RSI is too high. Are we at a level of being overbought? Let's go put this on a 3-month graph again. And I'm going to add that indicator. We normally don't do that, but I'm going to go see and put RSI on my market timing graph. And let's go see where we are. We're at 67. We're not at a level of being overbought yet, not until we get to a level of 80. So I'm not calling this overbought by way of RSI yet. Let's go put this on a 6-month graph. This is the time, and look at that. This is the time when it was an overbought territory at the value, well, almost at 77, not quite 80. What did the market do? It pulled back. We haven't been at those levels since February. So I'm not calling RSI relative strength index, John. RSI typically stays high when the market is moving up. True. But once it gets to a level, the same RSI that we use on stocks, we can put it on the market as well. RSI, when it gets to a level of being above 80, or is that, wait, hold on, RSI might be 70. SMCI is a beast. Yes, it has been. What's my other indicator for being overbought or oversold? Stochastics. Stochastics may be at 80 and RSI may be at 70. And if it's at 70, somebody back me up on that. Somebody back me up on that. I know one is at 80 and one is at 70. RSI the last time, 70 for RSI. Okay, then fine. Back here, it was above 70 and the market pulled back. Right here, we're not quite there yet. We're at our RSI of 67.09. So we're not quite there yet, but we're still getting to a level where the market's looking overbought. And we are at a level of resistance, a good level of resistance as well. So can the market hold on to this confirmed up call? I don't know. Is the market already moved up enough that it's ready to pull back? Well, let's go add on our indicator that we look at for the market to be overbought, and that's the MTI. The MTI is at a level of 1.19. When the MTI gets to a level of 1.5 to 1.6, the market's looking for a top. So that indicator is not telling me that. RSI is not quite telling me that as well. So the market should have some upside. Market should still have some upside. I think the big thing that could pull the market back down right now would be the Fed's decision. All right, so talking about overbought and pullback tempts me to panic sell, telling myself to stay emotionless and trust the program. And Nate, that's exactly what you need to do. All right, that's exactly what you need to do. EJM says, yes, pullback seems Gillette Fed time. And listen, all I'm letting you know is what's going on. I want you to be well informed. I want you to make better decisions. I want you to understand that right now it looks like we may have a confirmed up call, but we'll see by the end of the day. Tom says, you mentioned yesterday using 2 or 3 times ATR as a stop for speculative stocks. Assume that just for a down move versus a spike up. No, I use it on both sides, Tom. I use that on both sides. If I'm going to use a 2 or 3 time ATR, remember the average true range shows me the range that the stock is in. I will take my profits at 2 times or 3 times above ATR, just like I will take my stops at 2 or 3 times below ATR. Does that make sense, Tom? I use it on both sides. Okay, and if I didn't make that clear yesterday, I'm making it clear today. I will use the 2 to 3 time ATR to get me out of stocks on the upside and on the low side of stocks to get me out of stocks. So, yeah. All right, so that's what the market looks like right now. Let's go to the viewers tab. Let's go look at the indices themselves. Everything is up, not by a lot. So even though we may be coming into a confirmed up call, the market's not running away. The NASDAQ is the only sector or section that's moving up about 0.8%. Why? Because of AI. AI is still the major mover of tech stocks right now. And just about every tech stock out there is rock and rolling. How do you use ATR? Again, Walter, when I look at the average true range on a stock, whatever it is, I multiply it by 2 or 3. To the downside, if it goes down that 2 or 3 of the ATR to the downside, that's a good time to get out of the stock. If it goes up 2 to 3 times that average true range to the upside, that's also a good time to get out. The average true range shows me the normal range that a stock is in. And if I double it or triple it, it gives me the ability to let a stock run just a little bit more. My scare is how long will be in that channel again. And again, don't worry about that. Time to market. We already are timing the market for you. I'm showing you the graph, and by way of the graph, I'm letting you know what's going on. Use that information, EGM. I use that information. You ain't got to be scared. Don't be scared. So right now, I know that we are above that level of resistance, but not by much. So I know that we're going to test this as a level of support. If we break back down below into the level now of this channel, then I know to get out of those long positions that I got into. You ain't got to be scared. You ain't got to be even a little bit scared. All right. So as we look at all of the major indices are up, the VIX is down. People are more greedy in the market. People are not fearful. That's helping to drive the market higher. Normally, when the VIX goes down the way that it is, what tends to move is the IWM or the lower dollar stocks, and that's probably should be, actually it's down. It's very interesting with falling VIX or volatility on the S&P 500 that the low dollar stocks are not running up. So you know what that tells me? That even though the VIX is going down, people are getting into the stocks that they know, the stocks that they're comfortable with, more so than gravitating to the riskier stocks. Does that make sense to everybody out there? Yes or no? All right. When I can see the VIX going down, more greed coming into the market, but the low dollar stocks or IWM stocks are not running, people are putting their money into the stocks that they feel more comfortable with. Does that make sense to everybody in the room? Yes or no? Type it in the room. All right. Because I think it's important. All right. Because tomorrow's video, the 6 p.m. video is going to be for all you aggressive people. I'm going to give you a video on speculative stocks. All right, so we'll see. And I'm just looking at the Russell 2000 going down as the VIX is going down. That's normally not how it works out. All right, only 2 people answered. I got all these people in the room and only 2 people answered. I want to make sure you guys are keeping up, are tracking. I don't want nobody falling behind in regards to what's going on in the market. All right, let's talk about what stocks are making the news. Let's go over to my news. Where's my news, Joey? There it is. All right. So, Glenn, have you ever used Bollinger? John says. I think we lost internet. What, no, it's coming back. I saw that. I saw that. Looks like you lost everything too, huh? Yeah, they said the stream froze. All right, let me do a check real quick. Can everybody see us? Yeah, you're back up now. All right. It just to let you know what happened was Joey's fault. I don't know what Joey did, but whatever he did, he jacked it up. I was just sitting here minding my business talking to you folks. That's what I was doing. That's all I was doing. And then next thing, Joey did something, man. I think he sneezed or something. The money is flowing out of healthcare stocks. So, Dan, I'm not even talking about those right now. Let me go back to Fitz's question about using Bollinger Bands. I like Bollinger Bands. There's times to use Bollinger Bands, and I'm sure the question is going to come up was when. So let me back up. I like Bollinger Bands, but I don't use them on an ongoing basis. There's certain things that I use that fit me. I'm going to use moving averages to get me in and out of stocks. I'm going to use support and resistance. I am going to use, especially depending on the type of stock that I use, ATR to get me out of a stock. If I'm in a longer trend stock, then I'm going to use the VectorVest stop price. There's so much. And Fitz, the reason why I want to address this question, how many of you are in the same situation of trying to figure out which technical indicators you wanted to use? Type of 1. How many of you are already booked in? You know what you're going to use on every graph? Type of 2. How many of you are in that same situation? So Fitz, that's why I'm taking a little extra time to answer your question, because it is a bone of contention for a lot of people. Now, a couple of people typed in 2s. Great. I am of the mindset that I've got in place what I want to use. So when you ask the question about, what do you think about Bollinger Bands? I think they're great. But on an everyday usage, I don't use Bollinger Bands every day. NPI is another great way to go, Paul. So, and the guppy is another way to go. It all depends on what fits you, and you will try things. Even when I talk about different stocks, you will try things until you land on something that fits you. Everybody in this room invests differently. I respect that. I respect that. So what I use, you may not use. What you use, I may not use. Nobody uses what Mark uses. Never. Never use what Mark uses. Ever. All right? Never use what Jay uses. Ever. Ever. All right? So there you go. Does that answer your question, Fitz? All right? Does that answer your question? EJM says that's exactly use what technique you use, what works for you. So that was a great question, Fitz, and I wanted to address that because I know that you're not the only person that had that question. I use Glenn's recommendation. Don't use that, says Mark. Yes, you should. Glenn's recommendation makes money sometimes. All right. Bollinger Bands seem to give probability range. Yes. And it's hard to get a signal. So it all depends on you guys individually. All right. News. This is the big thing. To pause or not to pause. Fed officials divided ahead of critical June meeting. So it's not etched in stone that they're going to pause or not pause. And I think that there's, for the lack of a better word, I think there's some infighting in the Fed. And again, that is for the lack of a better word. Some contemplation on what they really want to do. We all know that the raising of the interest rates is a laggard indicator. So at some point in time, they got to sit back and say, hey, let's go see what we've been doing. Has it been working? At some point in time. So we'll see. I still think that we at least get one more raise this month. That's my opinion. All right. Now, there's another part of that, as Rick says, skip, not pause. So they may, that's the other side of it. But this article says pause, Rick. They may just skip this one, but still keep raises on the docket. My opinion there is if you're going to raise later, just freaking continue to raise until you're going to stop raising. That's my thinking on it. If you're going to say, well, no, we'll skip, we'll see, and then, oh, we still got to raise, then that means you made the wrong decision to pause. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? If you're going to pause now and then say, oh, in July we're going to raise again, then that just means that you made the wrong decision to pause in June. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Do you agree with that? Today, unemployment number is high. And the interesting thing about that, Marcus, is that the unemployment number keeps fluctuating. Talking about that, let's talk about the next story. Jobless claims increased more than expected to their highest since October 2021. So Marcus says, so pause. No, I don't think they pause. A lot of people are saying no to that. You know something? All of those that keep telling me no or say that you guys are too optimistic. And I know this is a no judgment zone. That's just, I think that you're way too optimistic in regards to what's going on. Why are you optimistic? Because we've raised interest rates fast in a short amount of time. The economy is feeling the hurt. Let me tell you this. The economy ain't feeling nowhere near the hurt it needs to feel. I believe you me. Why? Because people are still spending money. The economy is still growing, maybe at a smaller pace, but it's still growing. And if the economy is trying to be squished, what's the word I'm looking for? Not condensed, not squished, slow down. And that's what the Fed is doing. But people are still spending money, folks. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I got a lot more to say about that, but this ain't the place to do that. Man, we need to do a bar hop. Ooh, I like that. What did John said? Raise 100 basis point like Fed Governor Glenn said to do 2 years ago. Should have done that a long time ago. That's not going to happen. Your bank stocks are a good buy. I'm going to do a story on that in the next couple of weeks as well, Francisco. I agree. Keep raising until the inflation trend starts to move down. Inflation is the bad guy we're fighting. And inflation is moving down. But if you're going to be adamant about that 2%, folks, it ain't there yet. You ain't there yet. Fed always raises or cuts overcautiously. And Daniel, I don't see that as any other, as this is going to be different than any other time. In the past, we have not raised rates like this. Well, David, in the past, we didn't, with the exception of Volcker, we didn't have interest rates run up like this, and inflation run up like this, and nor did we sit back and go that inflation was transitory, David. All right. Normally, when inflation starts to rear its head, We can do slow raises. But when inflation reared its head so far, so fast to 9%, the Fed said, oops, we made a bad choice in saying that, and they had to aggressively go after that. You pause in order to stay true to schedule they have mapped out. I honestly think that thinking is way too optimistic. But I ain't an economist. I'm just a guy. For real who uses a software, who talks about what he knows as best he can. I'm breaking up. Does that mean I'm yelling? Jihandad says I'm breaking up. Sorry about that. Short term is the key. And I think, hold on. Mark says, Cigar, you weren't here earlier when he put you and me in timeout just because Jay is here. Yep, Cigar. You and Mark are in timeout. All right, so jobless claims total 261,000. June, an increase of 28,000 from the previous week. The total was well ahead of the Dow Jones estimate of 235. The report comes less than a week ahead of the next Fed Reserve meeting. All right, talking about the rates again. Fed rate expectations. On Wednesday, the Bank of Canada, all right, and this could be a foretelling. On Wednesday, the Bank of Canada increased its policy rate, ending a recent pause on policy tightening. The central bank argued that the move was necessary to combat stubbornly elevated inflation. Y'all see that? Now, that's Canada. I don't think we pause or skip just to raise later down the line. If you're going to raise down the line, that means the pause that you initiated in June wasn't the right thing to do. All right, that's for everybody who's optimistic. I'd love to be optimistic, but I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to keep everything real. From that perspective, inflation is still high. And he says it at every meeting. It's still high. So, and Canada, so coupled with the rate rise, Reserve Bank of Australia earlier this week, the Bank of Canada's decision boosted bets that the Fed will follow suit at its highly anticipated meeting next week. The chance that the U.S. Central Bank will hike interest rates by 25 basis points and not temporarily halt a long-standing tightening campaign has now gone up to 32% from 21%, according to the CME Group's Fed Watch tool. This June decision feels rushed or fishy. I don't feel that, EJM. I feel, I've been a proponent of the Fed's got to keep raising rates. I've been a proponent of that based upon what they said. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that's saying that, Fed, you need to slow down. The Fed ain't got to do nothing but do what the Fed's going to do. Do you remember when banks were paying 11.5% on CDs in the 1980s? That was high inflation, right? We ain't doing that now. Fireblazer said, hi, Glenn. We just sold deep in the money covered call on NTR. We sold the covered call $2 below our cost per collected $5.80 premium. Is that a good strategy? Man, you took in a good premium. I don't know anything about the stock, but you took in a good premium no matter what. Leave that alone. I don't know how you sold that far out of the money. It's in the money. Oh, that makes sense. You sold it in the money. It's going to get called away. Wait, it's going to get, I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense. Somebody back me up on what Fireblazer said. He sold it deep in the money, which means you're in the money, you collected that, but it's going to most likely get called away right away. I don't think you're going to collect all that premium. Anyone want to back me up on that? That's how I read that. EJM says, not an economist either, though, just a perspective. I agree, but it's staggered when they got to just hammer it. I hear you. Somebody back me up on that. He sold deep in the money. If you're in the money, you sold it, it's going to get called away. I don't think you're going to get all that premium. I don't think you get all that premium. Yeah, did I talk about Tio? I did. I'm going to talk about it again today, too. All right. let's go to the next story. So that's all about the Fed and jobless claims. GameStop, big news on that. They fired their CEO prior to earnings, shaking up. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But I talked about it yesterday in the live stream. I said the big thing about GME for me was that it wasn't making money. And normally when a company doesn't make money, they're going to have to do things to turn that around. And what they did was from internally, they fired the CEO. All right. So unless the stock drops away from the spot price, yes, we made 380 less. I just don't understand on that trade how you're going to be selling deep in the money. If you're in the money, then the buyer has the right to take that away from you. I think. Is that what it is? Tom says, I think they sold $2 below, but collected 580, so plus 380 if it's called down. I don't know if I would have sold in the money. All right, the whole idea is to keep the stock's price below my strike, above my strike. All right. So GameStop, that's going to go on my list today. Let's go check that out. Big news stocks, GameStop. They got to do something to make money. They got to do something to make money. All right, big move to the downside. Good, googly muggly. But again, prior to yesterday's news about the CEO, I was talking about it. I said, there's nothing good about the stock. Not only that, as compared to AMC, they ain't making money. All the way, they ain't making money. There isn't enough liquidity in the market to keep this party going much longer. May remain elevated early July. If CPI comes in hot, we likely see 4,100 before the end of June. Again, all I'm worried about is what they keep telling me, what the Fed keeps saying. I still think on paper they got to continue to raise interest rates. All right, on paper. You wanted to know about TO. TO got hit by a Hindenburg report. So I followed up. Tingo Group refutes malicious and misleading allegations in the Hindenburg research. They hired lawyers to refute this. So they got smoked because Hindenburg put out a short story on them. The report, which contains numerous errors of fact, together with misleading and libelous content, appears to be a deliberate attempt to undermine the positive work that Tingo Group is undertaking across various worldwide markets. How many of you know about Hindenburg research? Type of 1 in the room. Type of 2 if you don't. I type of 1 in the room if you know about Hindenburg research. Type of 2 in the room if you don't. I am going to go to Hindenburg research. I want to check them out real quick. Hindenburg research. Let's go to their Wikipedia page. A lot of 2s out there. For all of those who are typing 2s, this company can put out a report, and they usually put out bad reports on, and they bring to light a lot of things about companies. And notable research, Nikola, that's a meme stock. Clover, that's a meme stock. I don't know what Adani is. But they can put out, Hindenburg Research prepares an investigation report on a target company by going through its public records, internal corporate documents, and by talking to its employees. The report is then circulated to Hindenburg's limited partners who, together with Hindenburg, take a short position in the target company before publicly release. So, this is what's interesting to me about this company. They take a short position in the company before publicly releasing the report. That's what I don't like. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? That's what I don't like. So now they take the short position, they put the story out, and then people start shorting the stock, and now they're freaking in the stock, and they take the profits of all of you reading it and grow it. I think that's not cool. So I wanted to bring that up in case anybody said that I was being malicious against them. I wanted to bring that up in the Wikipedia to show you what they do. I don't think that's a good thing. Now, Marcus says Hindenburg is great for calling out the knuckleheads. Fine with that, Marcus, but I don't think that they should be allowed to take a short position on a company that they're going to report on before they report on. So, Marcus, they could be doing the right thing, but I think that they're going about it the wrong way. You know, so I'm all about some kind of a group holding to task and accountability for anybody out there. And if that's what they do, go for it. But when they are front running, when they are taking the short position, it says that if they're taking the short positions before they put it out, that should not be right. Okay? So now somebody from Hindenburg is going to read this. They're going to do some research. They're going to find out that Joey is doing this and messing up the stream, and we're going to be shorted. And then I'm going to get canceled. And Joey's going to sit back laughing. Right, Joey? I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole. I swear. I swear, I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole. But that's what Hindenburg does. All right. All right. So hopefully nobody tells Hindenburg that we just did what we did. All right. That's as bad as politicians buying the stock before voting on something that will grow this. I agree with you, Mark. But again, it's not. I wanted to put this out here this way because I didn't want nobody to think that I was just talking out the side of my neck. This is the Wikipedia on Hindenburg and what they do. All right. So Tio is going after them on the report. All right. Muddy water, caution. They're going after them on the report. It seems like insider trading. Surprised the SEC isn't officially looking. Listen, they've been around for a minute. Let's go back to him. How long they've been around? Founded in 2017. So they've been around for what? 6 years? Named after the Hindenburg, which they characterize as a human-made avoidable disaster. That's how they came up with the name. So they've been around since 2017. All right. So we'll see. Cecilia says it's wrong action. Can we talk about how many politicians do this and talk about politicians wrongdoing? Nope, I ain't talking about it here. Sure ain't. Sure not. That's what my granddaughter says. She says, sure not. All right, let's go on to my next. Oh, I got to put Tio in my list, right? Let's go put Tio in my list. Somebody asked me about it. I'm glad it was one of my stories for today. Will Tio rebound? I think it's going to be contingent upon their legal actions against Hindenburg. But I do see that it's got good upside potential. It's got a relative value of 1.7. It should outperform the market by 70%. They have positive earnings and positive earnings growth, and they have a CI of about 1. I think yes, based on the analysis in VectorVest, the answer to your question is I say yes, and it's undervalued. So the answer to your question, I think, is yes. I think that this is, I don't know if Hindenburg met their match. Did they go against, did they put their story out too quickly, or I don't know. It all depends on what Tingo's legal team is going to be able to do. Their subscribers get a report before its public release. So now, not only are they shorting, but now their subscribers get to short it quickly as well. And there we go. Mark says, you missed my note earlier. I learned about Hindenburg when they slammed that one company, Rhymes, Vex. Oh, yeah. I got to laugh at that. So I don't know what that is, Mark. I'm not talking to you right now. All right, let's talk about the next stock. Micron. Micron Inc.'s 171 megawatt wind power pact with TerraGen. Interesting how a big company is tying its name behind an alternative clean energy, wind power. The problem is with wind power, I keep hearing that the turbines keep killing birds. So where can't you put these wind generators like in the middle of the ocean somewhere where it ain't killing birds? I'm just curious to know. Can't we do that when there ain't as many birds flying around? But I like the idea that Micron inks a deal with wind power pack with Terrigen. MU, is there a ticker symbol for Terrigen? I don't know. I'm going to put Micron in there, though. All right, let's go put Micron in my list. Micron, MU. MU! No, MU! All right, birds fly over the ocean, too. But I don't think it's sunny. I don't think it's as many birds. I don't think it's nearly as many birds flying around in the middle of the ocean. Where the hell are they going to land? I didn't mean to say that. Where are they going to land? Where are they going to land to go eat something or to rest? That's what I'm thinking about, birds in the middle of nowhere. It will kill the flying fish. Did you really say that, Trader Matt? Did you really just say that, Trader Matt? Yeah, you need to put a cage around it like an electric fan. You know something? Is that a bad idea? To put some kind of a cage around the turbine? That might not be a bad idea. I don't know. Air humidity power might be the new frontier. Says them SBSWs are some of my earliest trades. I'm just saying, Matt said, I don't know what you talk about, Matt. It's going to kill the flying fish. All right. What other stocks are moving in the news? Carvana. Shares soar on the forecast of better financial results. Now, let's talk about Carvana. I'm not, let's go, before I start talking, CVMA, Carvana, let's go see what it's got. What you got? It's got a VST of 1.18. Yeah, there's nothing good about it. Carvana is way overvalued. No upside potential. No, it's not a safe stock. It is moving up in price. They ain't making money, and there's nothing good about Carvana. So it's up 51%. It's up. I'd call this a speculative trade. Do you agree with this? Yes or no? I'd call this speculation. Yes or no? Seabirds live most of their life at sea and only come on land to lay eggs. Thank you, Fireblazer. I didn't know we had some people in here that knew about that kind of stuff. I'm not feeling this. This is news driven. I don't want nobody to get suckered into this. As a matter of fact, let's go bring up a graph. I don't want nobody to get suckered into this. This stock is no good. It's just a no good. Now, the stock moves in a sideways fashion. Yes, it does. I speak in my Spanish accent right now. See, we. And big jump on the earnings. Big jump on the news. Sorry, big jump on the news. Open candle. There's not a lot of give back, a lot of volume. But, if I'm going to play this stock, I'm going to play it short term. Because there's nothing fundamentally behind it to keep it moving. How are you going to get that wind power to short? Oh, you run some wires, Johan. So you just dig down under that ocean, hold your breath long enough to dig down under the ocean and run those wires back to land. That's all the same thing. That's all you got to do. Yeah, be fine. I don't like Carvana from a long-term perspective. Short-term, it did gap up and broke through a level of resistance, and it's trading very high to the session highs for today on big volume. But I got nothing long-term on it. What other news is moving the market? Lucid. Now, I've talked a lot about the headwinds that EVs face. The grid, which they're working on, Ford and Tesla linking up so that more cars can be charged. The price of the cars, Tesla's going after that as well. I just saw this story yesterday, brand new Tesla 3 for like $34,000. The battery, well, I don't have a whole lot to say about that, except for the cars are warranted for 10 years, 100,000 miles. As long as you're within that warranty, your battery, which is the most expensive part of the car, will be replaced for free. So I'm looking at those three things, and I'm looking at this space addressing those three things. Lucid, on the other hand, the only car out there that's got a 500-mile range on a charge. The only one, okay? But it's the most expensive out there. The Lucid cars, price of a Lucid EV. All right, you might want to close your eyes if you want to look at this. Lucid, to enter the Chinese market, said to consider local production, which is going to be big for them. Lucid Air review, 89,000. Lucid Air 2023 starting at $89,000. Now, bust a move on this. Lucid Air Sapphire, the high performance Sapphire, rounds out the Air lineup, and it has a starting price range of a freaking $250,000 for an EV. A $250,000. That's why I said if you didn't want to see that, close your eyes. It's one of the most, if not the most expensive EV out there. But from what I understand and read about it, the luxury is bar none. And that's why some people are willing to pay this kind of money for this kind of car as an EV. All right, so, but I'm looking at Tesla going after the marketplace as far as price. It's going to go down. The demand is there. If you want to sell the cars and put your cars into more people's hands, you're going to move the price of the car down. So Lucid is up there. Let's go put that in there. I don't have a lot of stocks today. There wasn't a whole bunch. I think sorry, Joey, if you needed that. We're in this wait and see mode going on with the Fed. So it wasn't a whole lot of stocks that I felt that I wanted to talk about. Can you live in it? Marty, you probably can. Selling a Tesla bull put spread. I own Tesla. I own the Tesla ETF just like I own the Apple ETF. Doesn't qualify for the $7,500 incentive. Trader Matt, at that price, the $7,500 incentive is null and void anyway. I wonder if we can buy a Chinese knockoff of a Lucid car. You know, look at Boyd. BYDDF. Boyd, do you know that's the Tesla of China? Good company. All right. Fun. It's a Chinese company. All right. And it's undervalued. Do you know that they're selling their EVs in China for 11 grand? Now, I'm wondering how that relates to trying to sell them into the United States. They haven't done that yet. But Boyd, which is an EV manufacturer in China, is selling their cars for $11,000. Someone says NIO's earnings tomorrow. I'll add that to the list, even though it wasn't news. But NIO, overvalued. I think if you look at every EV that's out there, EV company, every single one of them is an overvalued stock with the exception of Boyd. All right. Tesla 2000 sites now live in North America, delivering up to 500 million miles per month. I'm telling you that Steve Chappell and I had a conversation about EVs and taking over the combustion engine. I don't think that happens anytime soon. But the demand is there that if people want to sell their EVs, the prices on these cars are going to drop. I looked at a Tesla SUV 2 years ago for $80,000. Too much for me, says David. Probably it'll come down. And that was 2 years ago. And I don't disagree with you. When I first started talking about being active in EV stocks to make money, one of the biggest things was that the cars were too expensive. But I also knew that at some point in time, it was going to come down because the demand was so high. Because the demand is so high. And Tesla's taking that first step. All right. So those are my stocks for the big news this week. If I'm looking at any of these, the only stock that's got a CI above 1 is TO. I think that they're going to get hit short term. But I think as they put their legal team together, if they can come up and show that Hindenburg misrepresented them, I think there's going to be some heads are going to roll. Some heads are going to roll, and TO may come out on top. They better have a crack team, though, because Hindenburg is good at what they do, and I don't think that they would have came to the table being half-cocked. TO must know that, if Hindenburg misrepresented them, we'll see. Nate says Tesla cars won't ever be cheap. People will pay good money to strip motor and battery. So you thinking about the $34,000 for a Tesla Model 3 is too expensive still? I can take that same $34,000 and put it towards a combustion engine, and spend the same kind of money or even more. So I think that the prices are coming to fruition. Now, Dan says there is a $7,500 federal tax credit applies to the 3s and the Ys, meaning the Model 3 starts at $32,000. I got you. I totally got you. All right. Hydrogen cars are the real feature. I can't get on board with it yet. I ain't got enough. I don't have enough data to get on board with hydrogen cars yet. Not just yet. We've talked about it here a couple of times. I just don't have enough. Anytime I hear the word hydrogen, the next words out of my mouth is bomb. All right, I'm just not there yet. I think Carl Icahn is going to fight back against Hindenburg. I'm playing IEP and doing quite well with it. I go back. I like TIO. Undervalued, good upside potential, positive earnings growth rate. I like the stock. I just want to see if they can put up a formidable battle against Hindenburg. Rick says average new vehicle is $48,000. So if that's the case, Jake says trust me about hydrogen vehicles. I don't know. I don't know. All right. What stocks am I looking at for you this week? How about this? I give you stocks every week, my hottest industry stocks. I've walked you through several times on how I get these stocks, looking at the top industries, looking at the industry graph, then looking at the stocks in the industry sorted by CI to bring you these stocks to this list every week. All right, so here was my stocks. Movers and shakers, that's what M&S means. Hottest industries, movers and shakers search. Let's go back 1 week. I gave you 2 stocks per industry. Again, I've walked you through what I do. Let's quick test them over 1 week. Ooh, we kept up with the market. Couple of the stocks, SMCI made the list, up another 11%. Couple of stocks missed, but look at that. Even with the misses, these are manageable misses. We didn't outpace the market, but we actually kept up with the market. I'll take that. All right, looking at some of the hottest industries. So technically, we look at some of the top industries every week. All right, we look at them every week. Let's go to my stock picks for this week. All right, here's my stock picks for this week. SMCI is still on the list. Lincoln Electric, Wesco, Richardson Electric, Terex, Apple, Interpac, and Alta. These are my stocks from the fastest moving industries that I've done some work on to find for you. CIs, for the most part, are above 1, with the exception of 1, which is Apple. A lot of these are overvalued. Some of them are undervalued, but fundamentally, almost fundamentally sound. I look at the earnings, positive earnings per share, positive earnings growth rate. These are my stocks that I've got for you this week as my hottest industry stocks. My cement, steel, and glass, copper. This is my watch list. I just want you guys to take a picture of them, keep your eyes on them. Let's go see how they've worked over the last week. All right, this is an ongoing watch list. Let's go see how they worked over the last week. Gotta love that 8.69% blew the market out the water. These are my stocks in my 4 industries that I want you guys to keep your eyes on. And guess what? Over the last week, each and every one of these stocks made money. Each and every one of these stocks made money. This is an ongoing stagnant watch list of stocks that include cement, which we call building cement, glass, copper, and steel. All right. I've got a 9-stock watch list of those stocks, and I want you to keep your eyes on. All right. Opportunities to make money. No. Speculative plays. Did I put anything in there? When did I get these? Oh, this is for this week. My speculative plays. And I do have a video coming out tomorrow at 6 p.m. on more speculative stocks. But again, when I look at the speculative stocks, I want to make sure that fundamentally they may not be good, but that they are moving up and they have high CIs. If you watch tomorrow's video, I've got specific criteria that I'm looking for to show you what to look for before you buy into a speculative stock. You don't want to miss it. It's the 6:30 p.m. video for tomorrow about speculative plays. They are very tricky plays to play. You're either going to hit a home run or strike out. I'm going to show you how to use the VectorVest system to put the odds in your favor that you'll hit more of a home run than strike out. All right. My Glenn's picks are now moved to Mondays. How many of you are liking the top 5 picks on Monday? Type of 1 in the room. How many of you are liking the video, the top 5 picks on Mondays? Put a 1 in the room. I'm not worried about contras right now. How did all my, oh man, something just happened. This happens every so often. All my watch list just went kablooey. I don't know why that happens, but that's all right. How to subscribe? Actually, talking about subscribing, if you're not a VectorVest subscriber, I want to show you something. If you're not a VectorVest subscriber, I want to give you some insight on what you can do. If you're not a subscriber to the VectorVest software, there's a link that I'm going to put in the chat. No, I'm not going to reboot because we're going to get ready to go in a second anyway. There's a link that I just put into the chat. Okay, the link sets you up for this page, the VectorVest Diary Study. Please answer the following questions if you'd like to participate in a 2-week diary study documenting your first 2 weeks of your VectorVest trial. If it's a match, we'll reach out for scheduling. Study participants will start a trial with VectorVest, okay, and document their experience interacting with VectorVest each day over a 2-week period. This is the cool part, folks. Those who complete the study will be compensated with a $200 gift card and receive a free month subscription to the VectorVest software. All right? That's all I got to say about that. So click on that link. All right? Joey pinned it to the top of the chat. Click on that link. Fill it out. You have an opportunity to get a free month of VectorVest and a $200 gift card. Oh, and Cedric says hit the like button for Glenn. Thank you, Cedric. I appreciate it. I don't know how many likes we got yet. How many likes did we get? 58. You know me. I like to walk away with at least 100 likes. I'm not going to look at stocks today. We talked a lot about a lot of stuff today, and I gotta get up out of here. I know, Trader Matt. Sorry, today I won't be able to look at stocks. I got some things that I've got to take care of after the live stream, so I won't be able to look at stocks today. All right. How do we find your Friday video, Michael? If you go to our YouTube page. Can I do that right here? If you go to our YouTube page, all right, go to YouTube, search for VectorVest. Once you're here, all of our stuff is right here. You know, all of our videos. I just did a blue chip bargain stock, top 5 for the week, guide to investing back to the future. All of us who present on YouTube, here they all are. What was I just talking about? What video? Oh, it's not up there yet, but I did a video on growth stocks, on dividend plays. They're all here. Man. And here's all of our shorts. Just look at my face everywhere. Sorry. All right. And here's all of our other countries that we do as well. All right. But you got to go to YouTube, search for VectorVest, and our videos are right here. Send my mug next week, says Trader Matt. I didn't give away a mug. You get $200 gift card, but no bacon and a can of Cafe Bustelo. Well, no. Dear Diary, Glenn put me in timeout. That's what Drew says. Wow. All right. I love you guys. All right. I do love you guys to death. Thank you guys for being here. If it was worth your time to stop by today, hit the like button. If you like the content and you'd like to see more of it, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, all of that. For those who don't know, Glenn's face is all over VectorVest because he owns VectorVest. I don't own VectorVest. I'm just a guy. I am going to go. How did you know I like Cracker Barrel? Trader, Matt. Why are you creeping? That's creepy. How you know? How do you know I was going to Cracker Barrel? How you know? Don't be running up on me while I'm going to Cracker Barrel. All right. Joey's in the background. Say hi to Joey, everybody, before we go. All right. Say hi to Joey before we go. Just because he loves you guys too. All right. Because I mentioned it. Oh, okay. Everybody say hi to Joey. Don't make me turn this room around. Joey does a lot of work in the background, even when he breaks it. He does a lot of work in the background, even when he breaks it. Say hello to Joey. He does a lot of work. All right. Where are Joey's stock picks? You don't want Joey, you want to tell him about your stock picks?
My stock picks are
Your stock picks ain't great. Your stock picks ain't great. Oh my gosh. No. You know something? 1 week. If you want to see me do this, type a 1 in the room. 1 week, we're going to talk about Joey's stock picks. He's going to give me his 5 picks. If you want to see that happen, whether it's on a video or on a live stream, type a 1 in the room. Whether it's on a video or a live stream, type a 1 in the room, and we will do Joey's stock picks. He's going to give me his top 5 picks. Most likely, I think we'll do it on a live stream, because then he can protect himself. He can, come back and go, well, so let's do a competition. Glenn versus Joey's. Hell no. No. But no, I would chew him up and spit him out. I would so chew him up and spit him out. I don't want to do that to him. I'm not. Maybe we might do that. Maybe we might do a competition this summer. I think that might be something we do. We do a Glenn versus Joey stock pick summer competition. Let's think about that. We might do it. Glenn, Steve, and Joey all doing stock picks. Well, you know what that was called? That was called the Hot Stock Panel. Remember that? That's what it was called. I ain't scared of Joey. All right, I gotta go. Love you guys to death. Don't forget, I've got a live stream tomorrow at 12 p.m. on the mobile app coaching. It's been good. It's been growing. A lot more people understanding that they have access to the app. Everything that I do is in the app. I'm not using the desktop at all. So I'm trying to show you the value behind having the mobile app. It's the power of the program in your pocket. All right, so you want to be here tomorrow at 12 o'clock for that. For those of you who are on our Jockey Club, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I got the Jockey Club tomorrow, it being Friday. All right, I got to go. Let's get ready to do a stock rumble. Come on, Joey. I got you. You want to rumble? We're going to rumble. We're going to rumble. All right. Adios. Arrivederci. Ciao. Au revoir. Sayonara. Aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Be careful out there with all that air quality. Praying for the people in Canada with all of the forest fires that's going on over there. Bom dia. Salam. Shalom. Namaste. Yasu. Until next time, folks. See ya.